Hey, Peter.
Hey, Adam.
Are you writing down everything I'm saying here?
Yes. I'm digitally writing it down. Click, 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 click.
I don't
Click,
believe
click, 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 click. Click, 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 click. Click, 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 click.
I'm Adam Maness.
And I'm Peter Martin.
And you're listening to the You'll Hear It podcast.
Daily jazz advice and dictographs from Peter Martin. Do you
Dictographs.
know
Careful.
What a dictograph
Careful.
is? Hey now.
Careful now.
That was like, boom, boom, boom.
Why
What
are
do you
we-
know about, okay, you probably heard of a telegram.
Yeah,
although that's
sure.
before your time.
Sure.
What do you know about, there was something else.
Wait, a telegram wasn't before your time? How old are you, man?
No, I didn't get one, but I remember I might still have it somewhere, like a telegram from like when I was born that I don't know if that was possible.
Someone sent a telegram that
I
you
think
were
like
born?
my grandmother in Europe sent a telegram to my mom or dad or something like congratulations on the little.
Telegram from Mrs. Martin. Wow.
I could be making that up, but I remember seeing maybe that was for my mom actually for her birth. Who knows?
Why are we talking about telegrams
I
today?
don't know because of the doo-doo-doo-doo. Yeah, we were just talking about.
Of the dictograph.
Yeah.
Right.
No, what are we talking about today? This
So,
is exciting.
Today we're talking about a handwritten note that was written by Steve Lacey, but written from the mouth of
The words and mouth.
the words and mouth of Thelonious
directly
Monk.
handed down like tablets that Moses handed from up high, right?
I'm not sure the full story on this. I bet somebody knows the full story on this.
Right. But we had a question about this, and now I lost it. But it was basically, oh yeah, that's right, Henry from Whittier,
Yep.
California.
Okay.
And I know you always call me Whittier than you.
Okay.
I don't know if that's related to this. Okay. Anyway, but he just wanted to know if we knew about this. And if we could kind of talk about it. And so we both seen this, but I hadn't seen it in a while, so it was fun to kind of go back through it. And I thought we could just sort of go through and look at some of these things and give our take on them.
Yeah, every time this is posted somewhere or shared, I tend to read it all because I play a lot better when I do these
I know.
things.
It's kind of like, I've seen it before, but wait, let me see that again.
Yeah.
But basically, we'll put a link below here. It's been widely passed around, but it's sort of a picture of a notebook that, from what I understand, Steve Lacey, great saxophonist and played with Monk back in the late 50s, and then great interpreter of his music, kind of a direct lineage to his whole thought process about music. He wrote down this advice, I guess, at a rehearsal or something from Monk, and it really kind of makes sense. It's cool, like when you see it, you can look along as we're going through this, sort of how he crossed some things out and put arrows and stuff. So it says 1960 too. I never noticed that. T. Monk's advice, 1960. Well, he said T. Monk. Are we sure this is Thelonious Monk? It could have just been like Teddy Monk, some dude.
Tom Monk.
Tom Monk, some random dude. No, we think it's Thelonious Monk. So should we jump right in?
Let's do it.
Okay. So, number one, are there 7 things here? No.
No.
Just because you're not a drummer doesn't mean that you don't have to keep time. Mic drop.
Oh, the angels sing. Oh,
And the
man.
angels sing. Yeah, I mean, it's just like, yeah, exactly. We all know this, but what a great thing to have at the beginning of the list.
It's just perfect. That
Yeah.
says it all. You are responsible for time. You're as responsible for the time as the drummer is. Don't think any different.
Yeah, and I like they underline drummer and keep time. And I think the kind of corollary to this, or the inverse, is that a drummer's responsibility is not to only keep time.
That's right.
Right.
For sure.
Kind of added that in.
The second one kind of goes along with this, but it also kind of goes along with an episode we did a couple weeks ago about keeping the form and how to keep the form.
Yeah.
It's pat your foot and sing the melody in your head when you play.
Yeah. Oh, that's so great.
I mean, that's exactly kind of what we said. I am a convert to patting my foot. I've been
Yeah.
patting the heck out of my foot lately, and I love it.
Yeah, pat your foot and sing. Yeah, I mean, and I love like Monk's advice. Everybody thought he was so esoteric with like his music and
Yeah.
him in interviews and stuff. I love how like this is like the most tactical advice, and it's like specifically what
sure.
to do.
Yeah, no,
it's
really.
not like think about a beautiful meadow as you
No,
prance.
not at all. It's like pat
telling
your foot and think about the melody. Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
The next one is stop playing all those weird notes, all that BS.
Yeah.
Play the melody, and the melody is underlined. Yeah.
Right. And that BS is kind of like added in as a little arrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and weird, and that's so great because everybody accused Monk of playing a bunch of weird notes, so that kind of told you where he was at with
For
that.
sure.
Yeah.
All right, the next one is one I think about almost every day.
Make the drummer sound good.
This is the greatest advice I've ever read. No, when I read that, I was like, what? Make the drummer sound good?
I gotta do that?
I want to sound good. But when
It's called the Adam Maness Trio, sir.
No, but when you make the drummer sound good, everything sounds better.
Right.
You play it's just more in the pocket. Like
That's because everything sounds better because the drummer buys you drinks and then everything's more relaxed.
well, think about what that means to make the drummer sound good. That means that you are locked into the groove with the drummer, and that means that you are usually playing in a balanced way with the rest of the rhythm section, right? So if the drummer is playing super busy, if I'm going to make him sound good, I'm not going to try to play over that.
Right.
You know, I'm not going to try to like outplay them. I'm going to really be with them and make them sound better, and then we all sound great. And then before you know it, drummer's buying you drinks.
Exactly. Well, I love it too. Make the drummer sound good because we think about the drummer as being the ultimate accompanist and supportive character in a typical kind of jazz band. But it's like, no, make them sound good. Like everyone wants the drummer, and great drummers make everybody sound great. I mean, that's part of their gig.
Yeah.
But let's flip it around.
This is great. You know what? Can I just make a suggestion here?
Yes.
We don't usually do this, but I think this could be a two-parter. Let's take our time.
Are we going
with this.
two-parter?
I want to take our time. I don't want to try to rush through these. These
can
are
we ask
too
Andrew K., our producer?
important. Andrew, can we do a two-parter on this?
We're going. He said thumbs up.
We're going two-parter.
We're going two-parter.
Okay. So let's do.
You'll hear it.
Let's do.
We'll do a little more first.
Yeah. No, let's do another 4 or 5 because these are just every single one of these is like gold. It's like he had his own daily podcast.
I know. Why? Exactly.
Right.
Okay. Next, and I don't totally understand this. I think I do though. Discrimination is important.
Now wait a minute.
Now, does that mean? I think I know what it means. Tell me if I'm wrong here. The way I'm interpreting this, we have to discriminate what we're listening to, what we're playing, what we're responding to in a band situation, right? That's important. Not to just play everything. We have to discriminate what we're going to play, what we're going to listen to, what we're going to link up with, what elements of the music we're going to deal with at any particular time.
That's interesting. That's an interesting interpretation. That's not how I was more looking at it just as a sort of quality control. You know, that I mean, this is something that I've learned being around you too, is that if you really want to take it to the highest level, you have to be hard on the details. You have to get the details correct, and you have to pay attention to them. That's what I think he means, but I like your version better, actually.
No, I like that one. I mean, I'm just so glad it wasn't like discriminating against people is important. I would feel really bad about that.
Important.
Okay, the next one is you've got to dig it to dig it. You dig?
You know what that means to me?
Nothing.
Listen.
Oh, listen. That actually, number one. Listen, absolutely. You've got to dig. Now, dig it is sort of a term that we don't use as much because it's so hipstered up. But I can imagine. I mean, I know what it means.
Or it could mean something we've talked about here, which is don't play anything you don't want to play. Exactly. Don't play something just because someone said you should play that.
Yeah.
Play what you want to play. Play your sound. Play what you like. You got to dig it to dig it. You dig?
You dig? Come on. Now, this next one I think you should take because I know you have a deep understanding and concept on this one.
Yeah. The next one is all right. That's it.
No explanation. No discrimination
Don't worry
necessary
about
on
it.
that.
Don't worry about it.
Could somebody hit us up in the comments with what the heck that means?
I mean, some of these are
was
very
that Monk
esoteric.
messing with Steve Lacey?
Some of these, yeah.
Now this one I think I kind of understand. I remember kind of connecting with this at a young age when I first read this. And you got to check out the link so you can see the handwriting on here. It's important. Always know, ... and then parentheses, monk with kind of a semicircle almost with an arrow on it. Don't know what that means, actually. I was trying to. No, but I think always know what the time is, always know what the form is, always know what the melody while you're tapping the foot. You know, to me, Monk is so misunderstood as a musician and composer because you almost have to be like, in this day and age, you know, active listening, but at the same time, like really tapping your foot and getting into the groove, like where all your senses are just concentrating on one thing. Monk's music and Monk's playing really rewards that kind of listening. And that's very hard for people now because everything is so scattered and everybody's brain is so scattered. But I think that kind of goes along. I don't know if that explains what this says, but that's how I've always felt about Monk's music and why I connected with it from the beginning. And it's not about like, oh, you have to be a scientist or a musicologist to enjoy it. You don't. There's so much humanity in this music, so much groove and all those kind of things as well.
All right, this next one, it must be always night. Otherwise, they wouldn't need the lights. I think that was just a poem that Monk wrote on the spot.
He was definitely messing with Steve Lacey.
Yeah, for sure.
Or he handed him a doobie at this point.
But the next one I think is great. Let's lift the bandstand. Double exclamation points.
Woot, right?
Because so the context is they were playing together, right? And he
Yeah.
was so this was sort of notes of what they wanted to do.
Yeah.
Let's lift. He really wanted the energy. He really wanted.
The recording I remember with Steve Lacey, and I'm sure he was on other ones, and forgive me for not being prepared with this, but is that, have you ever heard the Live at Town Hall with the mini big band?
Yeah.
Steve Lacey's on that. He's young there.
Wow,
He's young.
cool.
I don't know. And actually, if this is 1960, if that's true, that must have been right around that time, I believe.
This next one is great and just good for life in general. Avoid the hecklers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this is 1960, so what this is in modern parlance is avoid the haters.
Yeah, don't go into the YouTube comments too deep.
Except for ours.
Except for
ours are
ours,
safe.
which we go into on the regular.
Yeah.
All right, let's do a couple more, and then we'll cut it off, and we'll come back tomorrow. This
We
is
could go to the
great,
bottom of
man.
the first page.
That's
That would
great.
make sense.
Yeah, let's go to the bottom of the first page.
Okay.
Perfect.
Don't play the piano part. I'm playing that. Don't listen to me. I'm supposed to be accompanying you.
That's so
Oh,
great.
this is so. That's what I'm saying. Like Monk was so matter of fact and tactical with this stuff. A young Steve Lacey was probably waiting for these like pearls of wisdom that this is so obvious, and it is a pearl of wisdom.
Yeah. Don't play the piano part, he said to the saxophonist. But I'm thinking of what would a saxophonist do to play the piano part? Would that be like marking the form or outlining the chords too much?
Yeah, and just not leaving space too.
Not leaving space.
Like accompanying yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
Okay, this last one is.
But also the part, don't listen to me, I'm supposed to be accompanying you. That I've always really resonated with me because I'm like, some people you comp behind and there's nothing wrong with interacting and stuff, but sometimes it's like, let me be listen to the way that I'm accompanying. If it's in a way that it's for you to soar, like you have to know your role.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
Don't try to be so and maybe he was being so demure and like, oh, let me defer to you. And Monk is like, no, I'm accompanying you solo.
This is great, man.
Yeah.
This is kind of like that kind of piggybacks this idea that we did last week on that Nicholas Payton Instagram post. It's really interesting.
That was brilliant.
All right, so the last one we'll do today, and this one has become classic, and also one that I think about all the time. The inside of the tune, the bridge, is the part that makes the outside sound good.
Yeah.
This could be so game changing if you don't do this already.
Yeah.
Use the bridge as a place to build tension, as a place to jump off of for the other parts of the tune.
And I really connect this with that always know the form.
Yeah.
Know the form, And I think it's interesting because if you take away what's in the parentheses, the inside of the tune is the part that makes the outside sound good.
Right.
That's the type of thing Monk probably said, and people are like, oh my God, he's crazy. What the hell is he talking about? The Oreo cookie? What is he? But then when you understand the bridge, and maybe Steve Lacey, I'm projecting here, but maybe he added that just to make it clear. It's like, no, he was being very clear about the form of the tune, and understanding that and using it as a tension point and really, understanding the structure.
Just understanding that contrast between those two, between the inner and the out. I love the idea of the inner and the outer too.
Yeah,
For
just
me,
starting to think about like that is a game changer.
and this is so cool just to hear the way he visualizes. He obviously is a very visual person. The way he thinks about these things and he organizes his thoughts. Well, this is great. Well, speaking of always know, do you know what day it is?
Wait, it's Hump Day.
It is Hump Day.
Okay, see, now we're starting to get lined up. Dude, this is 3 weeks in a row. I've nailed it.
You have nailed it.
Today's Hump Day, so can we do a Hump Day special?
Yeah, let's do it.
Should we act like we didn't plan this? Oh, we didn't plan it. Okay. So the Hump Day special today is, and look, I'm literally making this up as we go. Well, we talked about the new CD. I have a new CD out, Open Studio Records, Homero Lobombo, Peter Martin duo, live in Tokyo. A little thing we recorded end of last year, and it's just been released this week.
It's beautiful, man. I listened to it a couple days ago, all the way through. Unbelievable.
Thank you. I haven't really listened to it because I don't listen to my stuff a lot, but I've heard it.
I mean, you guys are right.
No, it's fun. We always have fun playing with Romero, but it's a lot of some New Orleans stuff, some Brazilian stuff, a lot of jazz stuff. And what we want to do is, if you buy any course today, are we doing this it's going to be today. So until 3 a.m., which is when the next episode drops, you can get a free CD. So any course purchased, this can be all access pass, anything, even a pack. We'll even accept a pack, whatever. Buy a course today, regular price. And if you want the CD, forward your receipt to Andrew at openstudionetwork.com. Can we do that, Andrew? We're doing it. So forward your receipt and just put free CD in the subject line, and we will ship out a free CD. Is that going to work? Are we good? We're good. Hump Day.
Love
Hump
it.
Day CD. So check that out. Any course, free CD. And until tomorrow.
You'll hear it.